Okay, and according to that, I'm streaming. So hopefully everything is under control. Let's take a look. 46 watching, 5 likes. That's always a good start. I hope you're all well. I just got back from Malaysia and of course Thailand before that yesterday. Been an interesting week. I was away on a business trip to Kuala Lumpur and got to do actually some negotiation training for that, where I was one of the trainers, but it's always kind of more interesting being a trainer in that situation. So that was pretty cool. I've been pretty quiet this week, a bit out of touch. I haven't really been following much of the news and stuff like that. My graphics are a little bit weird, I'm sorry, that's what was holding me up with the technical problems. I don't know why they look like that, but yeah, who cares, you can read it, right? Tokyo Tonight Live, Sundays 11 PM, which is indeed tonight. So yeah, you know, I was a bit sleep deprived, so I went and got a lot of sleep yesterday. I've been catching up on what's been happening this week as of today. And it's been a pretty quiet week, I guess. I mean, there was a big earthquake and tsunami warning, and there was like a mega super typhoon thingy, which as usual turned out not to really be a very big deal. A lot of people, everyone was asking me, are you okay with the typhoon? And I was like, yeah, we're always kind of okay with the typhoons. Which isn't to say, I mean, you know, it's pretty terrible obviously for some people in some places, but generally speaking, most places in Japan seem pretty well set up for dealing with them. I'm just going to put on my timer if it still is set up for this, because, boom, which it is. Because that's good. It's good to have some topics. I don't have a lot of video topics tonight. You can check the video topics underneath the video to see how they, you know, to see the ones that I've picked up. Not a lot. So let's go through. I'm going to go through some of the topics first. I'm going to say hello to you all. And I might talk a little bit about Malaysia, my trip. It was pretty awesome. It was great to be able to do a show from Phuket. That was awesome. I actually went and changed the thumbnails and stuff on it to update those. I'm also going to upload selected photos. I'm going to take some photos from Thailand and from Malaysia, which I'm just going through editing at the moment, but I'm going to put those up onto my Flickr accounts. I wish there was a really cool way to make photo blogs based on those sets that you can create on Flickr. There probably is, but I probably just don't know how to do it very well. So, by the way, these cool, crappy Japan-related shirts are one of the cool things about Malaysia, which I was able to get a lot of, which I do quite enjoy. A couple of other quick updates. We've pretty much now confirmed. I've just talked with the guy. I just confirmed with Victor the summer gathering, which we have every year for YouTube gathering. It looks like there's going to be a lot going on this year. There's going to be one in Nagoya. There's going to be one in Osaka. Sam is arranging something in a beach party, which I think will be pretty cool. But the official one that we do every year now, and that we have done for the last few years, is now confirmed as being September 6th. Saturday, September 6th at night. It's going to be at the Tokyo Sports Cafe, as it's been the last few years, which is a good venue. It's right in the middle of Roppongi. You know, you can go on drinking there if you like, or go out to other places later on. It's a good location. It's easy for everyone to get to. They always give us a good deal on the Nomi Hodai, which is, you know, I think it's around 3,000. I'll check that again. But yeah, we've had some great parties there in the last few years, so why mess with it when it's working? I just talked with the owner. He loves us. So September 6th, which is the week before Victor's birthday. So if there's no other reason that there's lots of parties coming around, Victor's going to be coming up to Tokyo, and it's going to be like a big birthday party for him. So that should be pretty awesome. Also, there were some additional thumbnails which I've been missing. Also, one of the winners, in terms of Victor's gone and released 2 shirt designs, one of which I really like, and both of them, I don't know if you're not aware of them, I'd go and check them out. They are, you know what, I had them saved, I've just realized I might have deleted them. Let me have a look. Oyajis shirt preview. Here. So let me show you those. But that said, there are some other designs. I'm going to talk with Victor about this, because there are some other designs I quite like to see myself. Put that away. So the ones that I quite like, I'm just going to boom, put this up there. Boom. Come on, switch in, Control G. Transfer. Well, there we go. That works. So yeah, check it out. This is the one I really like. This is the design I quite like. You can get a t-shirt. There's only one of 29, well, 29 is a goal supposedly, sold. But yeah, $22, and it's a pretty cool shirt. So I quite like this one. I think I'm going to order this one myself and wear it on the show. The other one is the big heads one, which is also pretty cool. Same price. So Victor's going to set these up. However, that said, there have also been some really cool new ones. I guess I shouldn't be necessarily saying this, since we do want to focus on it. But certainly, if you like the show, these are being set up by Victor, but it all sort of helps. Definitely get yourself a 2.5 Oyajis shirt. I really like, personally. Oh, what am I doing? Boom. This one. I like this. This is based on the Oyajis design, which he has gone and made into a shirt. This is, by the way, an entry that I never put up properly, which I am sorry about, but that was another entry. These are kind of variations of the design, the Oyajis design, which I really, really like. And one including Oyajis, one with just the word and black, and one with this, which I think this works really well. I'd get a t-shirt, totally get a t-shirt with this design on it. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to go and tell Victor I think we should do. By the way, there was this awesome design came in. And who was the guy who sent this, by the way? I've got the stuff for it somewhere. Where is it? You know what? I don't even have it here. I think I missed it originally. Oh, God. So I should have the name of the person on it who made it. But it is really, really awesome. And I love what he did. I love, in terms of, me with the camera, Victor with the drinks. There are some really, really cool designs for these things. And so they keep coming in, and it's always going to be open as far as I'm concerned. And this is something as well I'm definitely going to use. In fact, I think I'm going to use this on the next 2.5 Oyajis. Which, by the way, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I know it had Edo talking about how to sue people in Japan, which is a pretty good topic, actually. So I'm looking forward to going catching up on that. But how did that one go? So anyway, let's quickly get into the topics and into the comments and see how we're all doing. By the way, I am doing this in high res. Again, I'm risking it again, but I'm doing it with my USB camera. I'm not using the good camera because I just get problems when I do that. So hopefully this will be smooth and it'll be relatively high res. We'll see. So getting into this, B-Boy Trippin asking, did I ever get homesick when I first started living in Japan? You can't imagine not having the technology to talk with your family anytime you want. That's an interesting one. I had a bit of a weird situation when I came to Japan. Well, in my second and final year of high school, my sister and my mum moved to Australia. And I stayed in Japan. I stayed with my dad originally, but my dad suggested I move out. So during my final year of high school, I moved out. And I lived on my own when I was doing university entrance exams, which isn't really a good time to be living alone. Water under the bridge. But I was already away from it's funny, I stayed in New Zealand and my family moved away from me. My dad moved away when I went into university. So I ended up in kind of a weird situation. I was kind of homesick in terms of I lost my home. My home moved away from me overseas, and I so I kind of already had that in a way. And I guess I used telephone. I mean, we're talking about the 90s here, of course. I got into using Skype when it came around, but yeah, I kind of had a Japanese girlfriend who went back to Japan a year before I graduated, which that gave me an incentive to come to Japan more quickly. I guess I had a large network of Japanese friends, we were originally in the same circles, me and my Japanese girlfriend at that time, which was nice. They were her friends, but they were my friends too, mostly Japanese people. When I came to Japan, it was weird because, again, I was used to having like weekly calls with my parents and stuff like that. That wasn't such a big deal, but I must admit, when I broke up with her, which was pretty soon after I came to Japan, all of those personal support networks I had in Japan were around her friends. Guys from her high school and whatnot. And losing all of those and her family, which I kind of considered my family at that point, we dated and lived together for about 5 years, that was pretty rough. And I don't know if I would call it homesickness, but I went through a bit of a dark phase around that, which I've written about on my Falling with Style, which I know I should get back into writing, and I really want to focus and spend some time on writing on that, but I talked about that a little bit. that was a tough time, and I was thinking about what am I doing here and where do I go. For me, going home would be going to Australia, to a house that I'd never lived in. So it wasn't really homesickness per se, but it was really like the ground was taken out from underneath me. And I went through that period when I was first living in Japan, definitely. What am I doing here? You know, when you have some bad days here, you know, well, what is what am I doing? I definitely had that. I'm in a unique situation when it comes to homesickness. I've moved house 37 times, as I mentioned on the show. So yeah, I didn't really have that per se, but I definitely had some tough times, certainly starting up until I got my own life and my own friends and everything kind of nailed down and sorted out. Yeah, I had some tough times, which is it's normal. That happens. Good question. And you know, I think you got to be a bit self-reliant. You got to be prepared to deal with some tough times and some, you know, being away from your friends and your loved ones, and that's a really hard thing about migrating to any country, but certainly coming to Japan. Shigu-san, hey, good to see you. You recently saw the Christmas in Japan collab by Fat Blue Man. That was one of the first collabs I ever did, and it truly was awesome. The Christmas in Japan. There are some other collabs like that. In fact, that was a time when YouTube was much more of a social network. It was much more like a competitor Facebook than it was like a video uploading site, which is what Google Video was. And Google over time has made YouTube into that, which is a little bit of a shame if you ask me. But around that time when it was more social, around the time of that collab, there were other collabs like that. I've done collabs that are on my channel of kind of long distance acting, like script reading collabs, stuff like that. I've done, let me just adjust the chair, make my seat a bit more upright. Oh, yuck. Yeah, I've done, you know, there was I think 100th video collab, and yeah, I mean, collabs used to be a really big deal, and it's a shame that they're gone. But that Christmas in Japan, of course, with the quality of the music and everything on it, that was something special. I'm trying to think, is there anything like it? I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe some other people can say, but yeah, if you look back at collabs, there used to be more than there are now, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, hopefully Sam can get that happy video edited, and there'll be another one like it. But we'll see. Big news, Bradford, thank you. Big news, North Korea is up against Portugal in the World Cup, if you believe the North Korean news service. I'll check that out. Well, you know, North Korea, they've done pretty well. They made the semi-finals in the 60s, and they kind of did crap in the last World Cup, but they did qualify. So, yeah, but unfortunately, well, there you go. That's a great thing about being in a country where you control all information like that. John McRoberts, coming back to B-Boy's question just now, what was it like living here prior to Skype and other online services? What was it like when email was the only cheap and easy communication tool? Well, I used email a lot, although it was a lot clunkier back then. It was all Hotmail and company mail. And getting a connection that you could use was pretty difficult, because mobile phones were still kind of new. There were no data connections, and I couldn't afford to get a landline connection. Phone calls, I would use the public phones. This is a thing actually people forget. They kind of disappeared as mobile phones picked up around 99, 2000, but until then in Japan, as well as being the most convenient place in the world for vending machines, it was also convenient for, oh, and you know what, I've just realized, because of my screen configuration today, and I don't know why this is, that means I'm looking away when I'm reading. Let me fix that. Let me do this. Sorry, I can't fix that. Okay, well, that is what it is. Minor technical problems. They're a feature of the show. So that's why I'm looking away and not at the comments like I usually do. Actually, I can look straight ahead and I can still see it. So yeah, Japan used to be like the most convenient country in the world for public phones. There were rows and rows of public phones. People would call public phones from train stations. You know, and only some public phones could do international calls, but the telephone cards were like a big deal. They used to be a huge collector's thing. And yeah, they're all kind of gone now. You know, you see them, they're here and there, but people don't really use public phones anymore. But they used to be the lifeline for everything, for going out. You'd meet people by the payphones. So yeah. Man in Japan, don't think you've ever been awake for the start of one of these shows before. Excited. Good on you. I hope you're still awake. I haven't put you back to sleep since we started. Good evening, Emily Louise Maitland. My trip was wonderful. I'll talk a little bit about that in a sec actually once we've gone through the things. But yeah, that's that's gone through. Darth JF, that's a fake. I assume you mean that the story that's what North Koreans think is fake, but yeah, that's a fun thing about North Korea, that you can still make fun of it. And hello Darth JF, hello Sweden. Good to see you. I guess a lot of people are going to be staying up for the World Cup final, which is going to be starting in now 4.5 hours. It's going to be too late for me. My wife is going to get up to watch it. Hard to see how the Germans are not going to carry this one away. I was talking with some South American friends asking if they would support Argentina as the South American representative. And they all kind of said, well, no, they don't really think of themselves as South Americans. We don't really like them very much. So Argentina, it's funny, they're not, as usual, they're not getting much love from their South American brethren, but they'll probably get a lot of support from Italy and places like that. And you know, they play beautiful football, and they've got some great players in that team. But the way the Germans, of course, ripped Brazil apart, and Brazil didn't do much better in the third place payoff, by the way. Not that I'm an expert to talk on these things, but yeah, you know, indeed, big game coming up today. However, Peter Subarashi, good to see you, man. Karaoke Steve, as I call you without any permission or asking. Kantensai, konbanwa. Konbanwa, Kantensai-san. もう久しぶりです。こんな感じ。Charlie Brown, are you freezing in Brisbane? Must be a couple o'clock. Wow, I guess it's getting into winter there, but you guys don't have a real winter. It never gets. It's like saying it's freezing cold in Florida. It never gets cold in Florida. And about your shirt, I'll follow up on that. I think I gave you the mail for Dave Powell, but let me go and check up on that guy and just make sure that you get that, because indeed you were the selected comment winner, and I'll look after that. Thanks for letting me know. The Blue Ninja X, hey, good evening. And oh, you're happy to watch one of your heroes again, really? Oh, that's cool. I'm wearing blue as well. Number 23. What else we got here? I'm going to put the clicky thingy so I don't. Boom. Let's just move this away. Okay, 2 minutes late. Panic. There we go. Everything is under control. Indeed. See that the three old dudes understand. Man in Japan. There we go. We're all good. Unrested. Hickey, old dudes unrested. Is unrested here? All the cool kids. Really? Was unrested here? Or is that just referring to who the cool kids are? Yeah, I don't think he watches, but that's pretty cool. I saw there's a first-time viewer there. Type Mid City, good to see you. What's up yourself? I'm good. Sound is in sync. Fingers are cold. Whose fingers are cold? Oh, that's you. Okay, I'm sorry that your fingers are cold, Charlie Brown, are you? But yeah. Good stuff being a Queenslander with all that warm weather most of the time. Corey Sloan, good morning from Florida. Well, there we go, the real Florida. Good to talk to you. Wow, what time is it in Florida right now? I guess it's in the morning. お帰りなさい。はい、ただいまです。鑑定さん。Darth JF, important news. JSDF has AKB48 starring in their new advertisement video. You volunteered already, but they told you no gaijin. Yeah, that's credible. I buy that. I don't know, they seem to be putting idols on everything lately. One topic I didn't actually add into my video topics in the Flipboard thing under the video information was the Japan has released their first model of a stealth fighter that they've developed. There's been a lot of military stuff in the news lately, which again, I'm from a military family, so it's all good, and it's good that Japan's getting a bit of the respect that it deserves, but I come back to it. It's all cool with me so long as Japanese public are consulted and they change the constitution appropriately. You know, I mean, if you're against all this stuff, I think you feel quite rightly a little bit miffed at the way everything's being done at the moment. But joint exercises in Hawaii, great. Stealth fighters, sure. Don't know why you need a stealth fighter for pure self-defense, but that's okay. And you need all this cool stuff, and you know, collective self-defense is going to happen. I've read an interesting thing in Japanese talking about apparently the cabinet secretary was interviewed by NHK, and they asked, well, how do we know that we're not going to get wrapped up in another war overseas if we get into collective self-defense? And he responded, but apparently afterwards asked, you know, what's your agenda, asking me that question. I thought it seems like some people in the LDP think that they own the NHK, which is understandable given who they've put on the board, but it's nice to see that they can still actually ask the questions everybody wants to ask, right? So that's been interesting. by the way, I see. So Charlie Brown has seen some interesting open source CMS photo blog software for PHP websites, and this is a problem. I still use Blogger, and you know I thought Google would look after Blogger, and it hasn't really done that, which is a shame. But yes, I'll find a cool way to well, in any case, I'll send links to the Flickr sets because I think they look pretty good on the site. In any case, quick thing. Elisa Nihon, good evening. Why are Japanese so against using painkillers? Your boyfriend disapproves badly, but you just can't go without when you have a migraine. My wife gets migraines. I tell her to take all the drugs she needs. There is a Japanese thing to believe. And you know what? It's kind of weird. Well, I mean, in terms of painkillers, everyone knows about with childbirth here that, you know, very few doctors allow women to take painkillers during childbirth, even when needed. I mean, they don't even have them even if they're needed, which is crazy to me. And we selected the hospital for my son to be born in based on the fact that they were one of the only hospitals in Tokyo that had them. In terms of migraines, yeah, my wife gets migraines, and yeah, I think there's, well, on the one hand, there's this contradictory. There's a belief that, you know, these medicines, these painkillers are bad for you somehow, and that you should try to minimize your use of them and tough it out. And at the same time, I mean, if you've ever been to a Japanese doctor, you know that they prescribe 7 types of different medicine for like any little thing, and that heaps of people die because doctors prescribe them experimental medicines that they receive kickbacks to give. Without even telling or informing the patients what they were taking. So at the same time as Japanese are instinctively against taking painkillers and medicine, they take it more than anyone else, like when their doctors are giving it to them, which is a little bit weird, of course, but that seems to be how that rolls, and I don't get it either. But don't let your boyfriend tell you not to take painkillers for a bloody migraine. Give him a migraine. Tell him what he thinks. Carlos Diamante asking, the black shirt is in transfer or screen print? I don't know. I've got to go ask Victor, actually. It's the same setup that Jason, my Argonauts, was using. So hopefully it's good. I don't know. I'm going to go buy it and find out, and I'll tell you that way if I don't find out otherwise. Maybe there's information on the website, but I need to go and actually talk with Victor and find out about what's going on with this stuff myself, I admit. So yes, that's right. Sumo started today. I haven't actually checked the results. I fell asleep during the news. Oh no, Sicarilo, video quality is great, but audio is out of sync by 2 frames. Even with the... Okay, so you know what the problem is? The problem is I'm streaming at the wrong bandwidth. I wonder if I can fix it. So you know what? 720p just isn't meant to happen with this. I think that's it. I wish there was some way that I could... Wait a minute, let me just see if I can do something about this. It'll only let me do 720p, although I've turned down the bandwidth on it just to see if I can do something with that. Let me just try this one more time. Boom, 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 boom. Output settings. Boom, 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 boom. Can I do more with this? View details. Okay, this might have messed it up completely, but I'm hoping I can bring back the in sync. Screen print, thank you for the information, Jason. Konbanwa, Comical Rainer, good to see you. Oh man, I've got to catch up with you as well. We've been... ごめんね、ずっと喋ってなくて。And actually, okay, there's lots more stuff here. I'm going to do my news thing soon. But tell you what, let me just go through a quick roundup of, oh, look at all the comments. Wow, they'll come flooding in. So anyway, let me go through the rest of the comments, and then I'll do the recorded part of the show. I'll do the news part. So Legit Outlaw, oh, good to see you, Jess. Everyone coming in late, that's right. Yay for watching on the big screen. Chromecast for the win. Oh, indeed, you're watching on the Chromecast. Very nice. I've got the Chromecast, but I haven't used it very much. Benjamin Harris, finally you're here. It's good to see you. Nice, good to have you here live for the first time. And here we are talking together, hence. And indeed, the Chromecast, oh, they're getting cheaper, which is good. The thing you found in Japan, visiting Japan only a few years ago, was that only the bus stops and everything had public payphones, nothing else. Yeah, which is the way it's become. It used to be very different to that. Some nice turntables indeed. I've got some blue covers on it. Those are SL1200s. I've got two CDJs behind it. Nice of you to notice. That used to be actually when I started the channel. That's what I thought I'd do. I thought I'd show you music, and it hasn't worked out that way. Copyrights and whatnot. But I used to play music in the background while I talked, and they are very nice. They are my babies, my son's inheritance. Yes, that's good to hear as well that vinyl's coming back, and it will always be cool. Kevin Crocker in Japan, good to see you, my good friend. And we had after our fantastic little geek discussion, we are talking about, by the way, I want to see if people are open to this. I save all my tech articles and everything. I've got a flipboard for them, and as everyone knows, I love talking geeky crap, and we had a great geeky session when we had Kevin Crocker in Japan live on the show. And we're pondering doing a live just geek tech talk show thing. The problem is we're trying to come up with a title, and we're struggling a little bit. I insist on using geek and nerd, and he doesn't like that. He likes to call it like tech stuff. But this is the only thing holding us back at the moment. If we get that done, we could be doing a tech show. I'm pondering that anyway. But yes, very good to have you back here, Kevin Crocker. How would people feel about that? A Japanese latest tech show. Tahmid Siddiq, 3 p.m. in the UK. Well, good to have you here. 3 p.m. in the UK on a Sunday. Very nice of you to join. Weather must be bad outside, but good to have you with us. Darth Jeff, I'm sorry I said Sweden and it's Finland, which I know is really bad, so I'm sorry about that. In Finland, there are no phone booths at all. So, okay, it feels like walking in a museum when you see one in Tokyo. Indeed, they do have more of them here. Russell, good, you made it. Good to see that. You finally made it. Let the games begin. Indeed. Coldest day in 130 years in Brisbane. Wow, okay. Must be cold there. Good evening from Fujisawa. I didn't actually realize that you were in Fujisawa, Legit Outlaw, but that's cool. South Korean, Skytrot telling me that the South Korean team got a horrible reaction after their disappointing WC exit. Did the Samurai Blue get a similar treatment when they returned? Actually, no, they got a very kind return. Everyone was kind of commenting how like at the airport, there were huge crowds. There were a lot of good-looking guys on the team, and they kind of did get a big, very friendly welcome back. I guess people got their hopes up a little too much, but they weren't. Now, I know the Korea can get a little bit nasty when it comes to being disappointed, but Japan's pretty mellow about that sort of stuff, generally speaking. Yeah, and the plane, the stealth plane. So you've seen them testing it at Atsugi. Okay, well, if you've seen it, you know it probably doesn't work. Damn Atsugi, all those people, they move over by the base, and then they complain about the noise from the base that they move beside, but that's how it goes. Wow. It snowed in June in Finland, and now it's over 30 degrees. Well, that's I guess what you get up north. So yeah, Shigu-san pointing out Brisbane actually isn't that cold. I guess it's what you get used to, right? And Brisbane isn't designed for cold as well, so the houses are very airy and wooden and so on. So yeah, I know I go and I see my mum and she's complaining how cold it is in Brisbane, and it's not cold. Still coldest in 130 years. Says it must be kind of cold, so I'll go and check that up. Corey Sloan, 10 a.m. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good morning, Reina-chan in Canada. Good to see you. Contents at Reina-chan, so everyone's seeing Reina-chan, and I can make a Squarespace website. Is that for photos that you're talking about, Tahmid? I'd like to check that out. That sounds pretty cool. With Legit Outlaw, are you talking about painkillers, I wonder, about the extreme intolerance to them? I'm not sure about that, but yeah. With North Korea stuff, print audio seems in perfect sync to you. Okay, well, if it's in perfect sync to you, I might turn the settings back up. I've kind of reduced the frame rate and everything, hopefully, to rescue the sound. Let's get into the news stuff. Let's do the news part of the show. So I'm going to take a mental note because we are quite a way into this now. Oh, where are we up to? I was 2 minutes late. It's about 30 minutes in. I don't have a lot of news topics tonight, so I'm hopeful of actually keeping it to 5 minutes. I was lazing back in my chair too much just now, so let us... Okay, so, and I'll tell you what, that is there. So if I just click on that, will that work? That works. Boom. Okay. So let me just queue up the news topics, of which there aren't a lot. Hey, Samin, Sasimang28172, good to see you. Hey Chris, hey Germany. I guess you're going to be staying up for the big game tonight. Charlie Brown would love to be part of the tech show. So I think there's some demand for the tech show thing, and I think we could do that. We could kind of do it like an Oyajis, just about nerdy crap, and have like nerdy people join. That would be kind of cool. Oh man, there's such a... You know what? Actually, Legit Outlaw, I think I suggested something like that and it made him uncomfortable, but I think that's an awesome title. Mikey Chen, good to see you. So Kevin Crocker, are you reading that? Because that's the title I want. The one that Legit Outlaw put up. Oh, this is too distracting. This conversation is actually pretty good, but I want to do my thing. I want to do my nerd news thing. So let me just boom. So as always, my there it goes. It's working out. My keyboard not always working perfectly. It's working tonight. It's working now. So let's kick it with the news. First in English, then in Japanese. Try to keep it to 5 minutes each. Meh, my timer's gone a bit off. I've gone off the script a little bit, but here we go. So, hey, Hikosaemon here. So welcome to the what is it? Japan Hiko News, the news roundup, which is featured live on Tokyo Tonight, 11 p.m. every week. I'm going to be looking away from the news being displayed on the screen this week because of a screen setup issue, but please don't be too distracted. Anyhow, don't have a lot of topics, but I've been away, of course, this week, but some interesting things happening in tech and Japan for me to share with you what I think has been interesting this week. First thing is this. And this is actually, as we're getting closer now towards arriving with the smartwatches and the Google iWatch or whatever they're going to call it, and all these very cool things with displays. I love this. Look, this is an 18-inch display made by LG, and credit to the Koreans, they're really kicking ass with the display stuff. And look at that, she's like rolling it up like a piece of paper, and I think that is cool. I mean, I can see this is going to take screens into, they talk about wearables, and I mean, starting with wrapping around the wrist, which I've stopped wearing watches. I've got a Rolex and I don't wear it because I've gone totally off it, but I'm going to go back into it when they start putting touchscreen technology and stuff like that into wearables. And I love this, and I love the idea of big screens that you'd be able to roll out and put up like wallpaper, and I really want to see where that goes. So I think that stuff is awesome, so I put that up there. Next one I just want to feature is actually this one, unexpected fees to expect in Japan, which is here. This is from the Gaijin Pop blog. First of all, I guess I should apologize. I kind of beat up a little bit on... Oh no. Did my video just stop? I just got an error that the... Okay, I just got an error message. I'm getting an error message, which I'm hoping this is not something that you guys can see, but we will find out, I guess, if this has really stopped. Dough. Okay, I can't tell yet because the video is quite lagging behind, but let me just refresh the video and see. So pardon me, I'm just going to check if the video has actually stopped or not. It does not seem to have stopped yet, but this is also reflective that there's quite a lag in the video at the moment. Okay, I'm just going to push through. If it stopped, it stopped. I see the timer still working at the top, so okay, I'm going to push through anyway, even though this is indicating... Oh, you know what? My broadcast software is not letting me switch. Okay, I'm going to start that again because I think the problem is resolved. Hopefully, if it's not resolved, you can't watch me right now, in which case it doesn't matter. But let me just skip forward and see. Okay. I think it's working. So I'm sorry, I'm just going to stop. Wouldn't be one of my shows without technical problems, right? So let's come back. I'm just going to do the recording, the newsy part again. So bear with me. Boom. Okay. So 5 minutes. Boom. So everybody, welcome to Japan Hiko News, which is uploaded every Monday. It's cut out from the live show Tokyo Tonight, which is 11 p.m. every Sunday night, and I'm going to go through some of the stories which I found interesting from the news and tech and web and everything from this week. First story being, ba-boom, this thing. LG has made a fully bendy screen thing, and seeing what can happen with that, I think, is like when I'm getting excited about things like the probable iWatch that's coming out from Apple and wearables and so on, and touch screens, stuff which is actually kind of useful, and the idea of being able to put up TV screens and computer monitors as like wallpaper and stuff like that. I think that stuff is super awesome, and credit to the Koreans, they're kicking ass with this stuff. So this is really cool. Good on LG, 18-inch, and they're promising 60-inch rollable TVs, which I think is awesome. So really interesting just to follow this technology and to see where it goes at the moment. So that's the first thing I found super interesting. The next thing, which and all these stories, by the way, you can find on my video topics Flipboard magazine, which the link for which is below the video. The next one is actually from the Gaijin Pop blog, which is one of the two at the moment. I guess Tofugu and Gaijin Pop blog are the two blogs I find that are like almost the most consistently recommendable blogs. Almost every topic that they put up, I find myself retweeting and recommending. So yeah, even though I kind of beat up on Gaijin Pot a little bit on my last one, in spite of Anthony Joe coming on and being a guest. But yeah, I think that they put on great topics, and this is another great topic, talking about the unexpected fees to expect in Japan. And this is something which, yeah, and there's plenty that I can think of actually. The big one, of course, is with apartment hunting, and the huge upfront fees that you need, especially as a foreigner in Japan. It is getting better, but the real estate agent's fee, the key money, all that sort of stuff. The fact that it costs like a total of about 4 months' rent to be able to just move in and get the keys to an apartment is pretty rough. They also talk about the pension. So you think you've got you're just paying X amount of income taxes and whatnot, but they also deduct they deduct about the same amount again in mandatory pension savings, which under an archaic rule, I think it's now varying depending on the country that you go to, but unless there's a pension exchange treaty, you only can actually get like 3 years worth of pension payments refunded when you leave the country, which kind of sucks if you're a foreigner, if you're not going to live here forever and claim pension withdrawals when you retire here, which most Japanese think they're not going to get anyway. NHK fees, which of course are not, I mean, a lot of people avoid paying them. I pay them just because it's a hassle, and I rely on NHK a lot. What I'm kind of surprised about, that Gaijin Pot didn't pick up, given that Anthony Joe is a car guy. Cars here are like super cheap, but the associated registration fees, I'm sorry, I've got an itchy nose. The registration fees, the warranty of fitness and registration, and all those sort of fees are huge in Japan. So even though the cars themselves are quite cheap, running a car and owning a car is super expensive. So there's lots of things like that. There are definitely a lot of hidden costs in Japanese society, and this is a good heads up on those. I'm sure actually the comments below probably go into that as well, which I haven't read a lot in detail, but yeah, they go into it. So there are a lot of those. And the other blog which I just recommended, Tofuku, has a great topic actually talking about, is Japan really conservative? And there is indeed a perception that Japan is generally, in most aspects, conservative. And and to tell the truth, I've only flicked through it, but I think it's a great topic and it's worth reading, and it's a good thing to talk around. So as I'm going to go through politically, Japan comes out appearing very conservative because, of course, the LDP, which this soundtrack is for, wins over and over and over. However, that said, and this doesn't go into that, people don't really appreciate how also extreme left in all of Japan's major cities, Yokohama, Tokyo, Osaka, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Okinawa, all those areas have been under communist and socialist local rules. It's just that the electoral system is made to disproportionately favor rural voters. So it's kind of misleading. The system is kind of skewed to favor the conservative political parties in terms of outcome. So there's a bit of a misnomer around that. Japanese are more liberal than their than the electoral outcomes suggest. But yeah, certainly the outcome is that Japan is very conservative. Socially, I don't think Japan's socially that conservative. I mean, when people think about is Japan anti-gay, for example, I don't think it's anti-gay. In fact, you know, it looks at those things differently, not through the Christian idea of sin and whatnot. There are whole areas, you know, in Tokyo dedicated. There's huge neighborhoods, and you know, most film, manga deals very matter-of-factly with it. Sexually and all that sort of stuff. I mean, so I don't know. Socially, I think Japanese are pretty liberal on social issues, actually. And the fact that we don't have weird religious ideas clouding up the debates, I think. Sexually, of course, Japanese, I think, are very not conservative. Well, there's an extreme, of course. There's the old mums and pups for, you know, rice farmers and so on, who tend to be conservative about all this sort of stuff. But, you know, again, in Tokyo, definitely not conservative. Sex and gender. Oh, so this comes back on the homosexuality thing again, and yeah, it's kind of, well, I guess as well. So it's multifaceted. That's all that you can sort of say. It's hard to sum up. But the topics: politics, education, employment, society. It is probably a male-dominated society. That's fair enough to say. But yeah, they seem to come to the conclusion there's change resistant, there's conservatism in terms of not liking change. That's probably a fair call. Adversity, risk, hierarchy, consensus, yes and no, and bonus wallpapers. Anyway, I think that's a really interesting topic to talk about, which I can talk a bit about more after this video with you guys. But as usual, Tofuku coming up with great topics. Another interesting one which I just caught was apparently Tokyo ranked 7th on, and I don't want to see that stuff, so 7th on the expat list of most expensive cities. I think this is due to the yen, but the yen being weak lately. It's been weak, so it should be cheap. I don't really understand how it got to be so expensive. So apparently in Luanda, a hamburger dinner costs an average of like $18.95, compared with $6.55 in Tokyo and $3.54 in Hong Kong. Typical cost of a movie ticket in Tokyo. Movie tickets are expensive here. I mean, that's always been the case. Is $17.63, compared with $8.90 in Buenos Aires, $5.28 in Johannesburg, $21.51 in London. Wow, you guys pay that much for movie tickets in London? That's kind of crazy. Average price for a cup of coffee, $6.17 in Tokyo, $3.07 in Luanda, $4.47 in London, $3 in New York. So is coffee really $6.17? Well, not if you're going to like Starbucks. That's a bit weird to me, but okay. Apparently Tokyo has indeed become more expensive for if you're an executive. I guess executives like to have like rose petals and whatnot on their coffee, perhaps. I don't really understand that result. I saved this because I thought it was bullshit. I said it was bullshit, but I have to watch it. But this is a guy who says that in the future you'll be able to learn a language by eating a pill. That's interesting. So everyone wants the Matrix, the learning the language by a pill. Well, it could be possible. It could be possible that you could develop the synapses of someone who has spent 10 years learning and emotionally forming connections in their brain to make the full framework of a language, imposing that fundamental change in how your brain is wired on your brain by eating a pill. If you can do that, I would suggest it would be possible to turn people into psychopathic mass murderers or into genius mathematicians or anything else. If you could fundamentally rewire someone's brain that deeply as is required to really be good at a language through just eating a pill, that scares the hell out of me, because that means that you'll be able to fundamentally change who people are. Could happen, but really, and this sounds a little bit like, the Matrix thing of plugging the guy's head in. I can do jiu-jitsu, maybe, but really, I doubt it. So, but I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know. Is this stuff credible? Have people heard of this stuff? It kind of freaked me out, actually, if that were the case. And final one is 5 takeaways from Japan tourism report. So apparently time spent in Japan by overseas visitors has jumped by 27%. I guess that's a good thing. So they're coming, the more of them are coming and they're staying longer. Taiwanese spent the most time in Japan. Kind of makes sense to me as well, because Taiwanese are pretty comfortable in Japan and Taiwanese are well liked. Visits from Thailand showed the biggest growth. Indeed, Japan's been targeting Southeast Asia, including Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, so very good to see that that's paying off. Osaka, Hokkaido, Kyoto follow Tokyo as the most popular destinations to go to. Again, that kind of makes sense. That makes sense. And South Korean visitors favor southern Japan, which they would because they can go there by boat. Fukuoka being a great example of that. So that's just some news topics, some stuff which I picked up, which was interesting this week. Actually, I didn't put onto this the Benesse data leak scandal, which I'll talk about after this video. But lots of stuff going on in Japan. I hope you found those topics interesting. I'm going to talk about them in Japanese very quickly now, and then I want to talk about it live with all of you guys who are here watching right now. So come join me 11 p.m. every Sunday night if you want to join me, and if not, leave your comments on what you enjoyed and what you thought was interesting about this in the comments below. Talk to you later. Peace. Boom. How am I doing? So I guess I'm going to go back and do this in Japanese very quickly one more time. I just want to check that the video hasn't stopped. I'm a little bit freaked out about that at the moment, because I was getting an error message that said that the streaming had stopped or that there was some sort of error, and that's what kind of threw me in the middle of that. But, okay, it looks like it's still going. I know Kung Fu, that's right. Boom, I'll just show this. I know Kung Fu, the pills from the Matrix, yeah. And you know, I mean, given Japan's adversity to painkillers, they'd probably be against pills that would allow you to learn languages, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to kick it in. I'm going to try to go faster because I thought I could do that totally in 5 minutes. And look at how long it took. I did it in English. So I'm going to do it in Japanese much faster. So let me do that and we'll get back to the chat. And then I'll head off. So here we go. Japanese time. That's right. Sorry, I'm flipping things without switching the broadcast mode. So that's been there the whole time when I thought I was looking at comments. Okay. 3, 2, 1。はい、こんばんは、Hikosaemonです。今週のちょっとニュースのまとめ、今週ちょっと簡単にしたんだけど、このニュース興味があったらもう毎週日曜日夜11時からライブでこれやり取りして、日本語でも英語でもやってるんだけど、基本的に英語でやってるんですけど、でもちょっとこの一番面白い話題中心のトピックスを今日今まとめたいと思うんで、日本語で今ちょっと1個ずつ紹介したいと思います。第1個目がこれ韓国のラーメンメーカーだけども、最近もこれ日本やっぱ大敗北なってるんじゃないですか。なんかまあ一応なんかその合同の液晶画面とかなんかその画面会社作ったけど、それ成功するでいいんだけど、とにかく韓国はこういうすごいものを作ってるけど、日本でもぜひ頑張ってこんなの作ってほしいんだけど、これ18型の解像度そこまで高くないけど、でもとにかく新聞みたいにこれ巻けるとかって、これから60型でもなんかもう壁紙のようになんか壁に貼ってとか、なんかやっぱあれも時計みたいなものとか服に埋めるような画面とかって、これからこの技術使ってなると、もうとてもこれからなんか新しいものがいっぱい出るんじゃないかって興味深くて面白いと思っています。で韓国の誰がやっててもまあ別になんかいいことだと思うから、次の何が出るかと気になって見てて、はい面白いです。次のちょっと紹介したいのはこれ外国人のための外人ポッドブログというサイトが紹介した日本にはちょっと隠れ費用で、その隠れ費用もみんなご存知の通りたくさんあるんだけど、特に外人においてやっぱ日本人において例えば礼金なしとかっていうの場合があるとしても、外人が来るとやっぱ礼金つけるとかって、まあなんか外人税みたいなのもやっぱまだ存在するんだよね。でこれはそうだから、家賃がこう見られてもやっぱり敷金礼金、そういう不動産屋の費用とかってやっぱ大体 4,5 ヶ月分の家賃が必要じゃないか、そういう入居するためとかって、そういうこととかで家賃が安く見れるとしても、あと年金とか税金がこれだけあるに見られるのに、やっぱ年金も加えてあると計算すると全然なんか手取りが減ることとかって、まあ、みんなそれ分かっていつもなんか詳しいかと思うんだけど、NHK の受信料、これもまあ僕自身払ってるんでしょ、ちゃんと衛星も含めて払ってない人も多いんだけど、払ってない外人ももっと多いかもしれないけど、でも まあ面倒だけどね、でも僕は NHK よく世話になってると感じで子供がいるから払ってるし、あとなんかこれ書かれてないんだけども、やっぱり車の車検とかそういうところもなんか半端ない高いと思うんだけどね、本当車それだけだと全然安いのに、そのね、保険料とか車検料とかそういうものもなんかもう世の中たくさんあるけど、他に何があるんだっけ、なんかたくさんあると思うんだけどね。でもまあ日本の隠れ費用注意しようという内容のブログでね、みんなちゃんと払うように払わなくちゃいけないものとして、外国人向けの紹介で、もう一個ちょっと外国人向けの東福ブログっていうところが、日本は本当に保守的なのか、保守王国ってイメージもちょっとあって、まあ、人によってもちろんこれもそうであることでもあるんだけど、いかがかとかってちょっと検討する考えるこのブログがあって、で、まあ、中身見ると政治的とか、政治的で日本はやっぱずっと自民党だから、日本人みんな自民党万歳じゃないかって、ずっとなんかそういう保守派じゃないかと。でそういう人ももちろんみんなご存知の通りいるんだけど、でも別にそれで日本が全てそうというわけではもちろんないんですよね。特になんかもう大きな都会、大都会のところ、大阪、東京、あとなんかそういう左翼的ななんか長崎、沖縄、広島とかそういうところもあるし、なんか全然まあ、日本の政治は非常に多様化してると思うんだけど、でも確かにいつも結果が自民党が出てると、まあそんなイメージが出てくるんだよね。あと社会的に保守的なのか、でこれはどうかな。これなんかやっぱ東京にいると全然そうじゃないけど、田舎に行くともうめちゃくちゃそうでもあるっていうのは普通の社会、アメリカでもそうだしどこでもそうだと思うんだけど、性的性的にこれも最近と同じだよね。やっぱ東京、特に東京というか大都会にいると全然保守的じゃないとも言えるけど、どうかな。あとなんか性別に関して、これはやっぱ男性社会、日本はやっぱまだ男性社会は男性社会だよね。あとなんか同性愛に関しても、まあ東京とかやっぱよく見かけるけど、まあ田舎とか珍しいものとかいるとしても、やっぱ東京とか大阪に逃げるということも多分あるような気がして、いるところにはそこまでなんか不思議とか変な扱いじゃないかなと思うんだけど、まあ全体的に、まあ、日本人はやっぱそういう変動に抵抗力が強いとかって、そのような意味では保守的ではあるというふうに結論がつけるけど、でも別になんかそういう政治的な保守的なイメージではそうとは限らないっていう結論で、まあちょっと面白い日本の社会の検討材料として、そして外国人は日本どう見てるのかの意味で、東京は最近世界の、まあ、エクスパット、金持ちエクスパット、エグゼクティブのエクスパットに関してなんか第7番高い、第7位高いっていうランキングが出てきて、これなぜなのかというと、どうやら東京ではコーヒーの平均値段が600円以上だと言ってるけど、それはどこで飲んでるかってすごい気になって知りたい。あとなんか映画館のチケットの費用とかハンバーガーのコストとかいろいろなんか全部並べて、結局日本が7位でちょっと高いような気がするけど、最近円安なのに。でもそういうランキングが出てきました。ちょっと面白いところで、あとこれもっと面白くて、将来にはなんかこのおっさんがピル飲んで言語を完全なんか脳が全部発信して覚えるようにできるって言ってるけど、そんなのあんのか。そんなのあったらもう本当に人の完全になんか、そんなったら脳がその根本的に変えられるなら、いや怖いと思うよ。それで人なんかアサシンにもできるし、もう何でもさせることはできると思うから、だってと思うけど、みんなどう思うのか、本当そんなことは可能性あるのか。あとなんか最近なんか日本に対するやっぱ日本は今すごい外国人観光客をなんか増加するように促そうとしてるけど、今年なんか振り返って、もうこの1年間振り返っての成果を見てるところでは、やっぱり、日本に過ごしてるその外国観光客の数が増えてるだけじゃなくて、日本で過ごしてる時間も27%増えたと。中では一番長く日本に時間過ごしたのは台湾人。台湾人やっぱり日本大好きだし、日本人もお互いフレンドリー、なんか友好関係が強いと思うし、喜んで長くいてほしいとは思うんだけど、一番増加してるのはタイからの観光らして、もうそれもやっぱ東南アジア最近なんか特にそこの中心で 増やそうとしている結果としてやっぱりタイ人が増えてるのはいいことだと思うし、東京は一番人気だけど次に大阪、北海道、京都が人気なところで、韓国人はやっぱ南九州とかが好きで、まあそれは船で行けるからもちろんだと思うんだけど、まあそういう結果が出てて面白いんじゃないかと思って、もうやっぱ3000万円目指してなんだっけ20年まで20年までは2000万人で30年までは3000万人目指してるけど、もうなかなかすごいことだけど、でもやっぱ最近成果が出てるんですよね。まあ多分ねちょっと低いレベルから始まってるからね、あんまり外国人意識した観光推進が今までなかったから、まあでもこれ増えてることがいいと思うし、その交流する機会が増えて日本がもっとよく理解されて、世界に日本が世界的に活躍もっとできるんじゃないかと思うんですよね、こういうことを流して。はい、今週そういうニュース、ちょっとトピック面白いと思って、あとちょっと面白かったの、これから話すのは、そのベネッセの個人情報の漏洩に関して、やっぱ日本人はその怖さがそうよく分かってると思うんだよね。その個人情報がなんかブラックのところに行くと、もうどんな利用されるのか、ダイレクトメールから始め、もう最悪で、なんかそういういろいろ狙われて、なんかそういう借金させるような、なんかさせる人とかで結局狙って、かなりなんか危険だし、もうこういう会社ちょっといい加減に情報管理してほしいって感じですよね。まあそれちょっと怖いニュースもあったんだけど、はい、それ今週以上で、もしこれ興味があったら毎週日曜日11時からぜひジョインして一緒に日本語で喋って、英語でも喋って、ライブでやりましょう。コメントがあったら、興味があったら、なんか下でコメント残してください。すべてのトピックスを下のフリップボードの雑誌のリンク、動画真下にあるんで、ぜひチェックしてください。はい、peace. Boom. And I'm out. That's the recorded parts of the show done. And I'm now going to flip back to, boom, back to comments and catch up. And then I'm going to go out. Wow. It's already up to an hour. So I'm just going to flip through the comments. And bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Indeed, Comic Arena, let's bring back Hiko-chan and Rei-chan. I missed those, so let's definitely do that. Benjamin Harris asking, if I want to find live venues to play, how hard is it to find live venues, small live venues to play? It's not hard, actually, especially if you are gaijin. They make it easier for that. Let me just come back here. The sound doesn't sync. Okay, that is good. Hey, boys. That's right, we've got comments, people talking. Going along with Typin's question, did it take long for my ear and mind to adjust to the language, making conversing easy? No, it didn't take long. If you're immersed, I think you can even get your ear used to it in a couple of days. No, it didn't take long, but it depends on how hard you try to immerse and how hard you make it on yourself, forcing yourself into that situation. What else we got? We got Hi from Germany, which I saw before. The painkillers, that's right, Novocaine, Vicodin, nothing works the way that it should. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds tough for times that you need it, but yes. Darth Chef, don't change any settings. It's all good. Well, too late. I changed my settings. Hopefully it still works okay. I'll check out the thing at the end. Oh, really? Skytrot, they were throwing toffees at the Korean soccer team. That kind of sucks to be them. No, they were very nice in Japan, as is usual. I think they've been Shoji Joe, back in the 90s, there was a Japanese striker who was hit by a water balloon when he came back, so it's been pretty nasty in the past, but yes, no, they're pretty friendly this time. 3 old dudes, you'd watch a tech show, that'd be okay. Spent 4 days in Akiba without going into a maid cafe. Bless you, you're one of the few people who understand that actually real geeks don't actually go into the maid cafe, so good on you, 3 old dudes, for realizing that. Paul, what else we got? We got the Europeans don't have to stay up. It's like 9 p.m. in the EU. Okay, so yeah, we totally have to stay up. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning here for the final. At least in Japan, don't worry. Don't let them tell what to do. Just surprised how many Japanese friends react to cane pillars. Painkillers, cane pillars? What the hell? But let's start with the news. Indeed, as I've already just done now, a Japanese guy uses that title. We need a cool Japanese one. Okay. You really want that blood sugar watch? Indeed, that's pretty cool. Okay, the name, we'll have to think of a different one, but anyway, we should have a Rolex. I should send it to you. I probably should, but I won't. Sorry. I'm still here. The stream is still going. Okay, I was getting an error saying that it wasn't done, but there we go. You can see me. I'm wearing a Tokyo shirt. That's right. I'm wearing a Tokyo shirt, which I got in Malaysia. It's a Malaysian Tokyo shirt. It's a pretty cool shirt. That's right, Razog. Also, a bit of the error message. The sound is good. The video is good. I don't know why it was giving me the weird thing, but I'm still talking, even though I thought it was cut out. Tag watches for the win. Okay, we're into the tag watches. I just stopped wearing watches. I'm going like this, but I'll get one back pretty soon, probably. Barnacle's Nerdgasms channel. Okay, well that's something I might have to check out, but still, I thought it was a fun title. I think we should still look at that. Travis Moore, looks fine there. Okay, so we all know that it wasn't working okay, but insurance wasn't that bad though. This is with the cars. That's right, cars, oil changes, road tax, weight tax, JCI stuff adds. Exactly, the hidden costs of cars here are pretty crap. Shigu-san for cars, that's right. Depends on what you're driving and what your idea of expensive is. That's true. And indeed, Singapore is insane when it comes to cars and hidden taxes, hidden costs. But just like here, insurance goes down with two factors: a gold license and being 26 and over. Well, that's true, but the Shaken stuff doesn't get better, especially if you're driving an old car. But yeah, that's right. There are at least a dozen European cities that are more expensive than Tokyo. I'd agree with that. I don't think Tokyo is that expensive, and I don't know where they get that idea that it is from. Oh, it's some detailed stuff on owning a car there, so this is all kind of good information to have. Guy read Brave New World and thought it was actually factual. Okay. The pills from the Matrix, that's right. Kung Fu. I can do Kung Fu. For all you need to consider factors of ownership, depreciation of real costs, all that sort of stuff. That's right. And owning a car, not only is the depreciation crap, but the Shaken goes up over time. I'm getting that error message again, but I'm just going to presume it's okay. I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to do the final round of comments, and then I'm going to go say goodbye because our hour is up, and I got to do some stuff and go to sleep. So, for the car, you need to consider all factors of ownership. That's what we just talked about. With regards to homosexuality, you read it's pretty normal, in fact, encouraged before Japan opened up to the West. Well, yeah, and actually, often depicted in entertainment mediums is absolutely right. In fact, there's something really surprised me how open. I mean, Beat Takeshi has played matter-of-factly. Didn't even have anything to do with the plot. Just happened to be that he was like a character in a film that just happened to bang other guys. So yeah, no, absolutely. Apparently, anime Sailor Moon, two of its main characters were lesbians. Really? I didn't actually know that. Well, thank you for informing. Toilsome Phoenix, I'm the best. Nice of you to say so. Thank you for that. Oh, boom! I took that. Nick Negropody's job is coming up with that sort of gibberish. Glasses with built-in machine translation might be, yeah, and I agree. The pill stuff is gibberish, unfortunately, although it'd be interesting if it wasn't. And car insurance. So I think we're done. I'm done. I'm good. Oh, and there's some more comments. Jason Horton, yes, I will talk with Victor about the design of the shirt, and I thought your designs were awesome, and I really like the red one. So yes, I'm going to settle on that, and I'm going to tell you, and Victor seems to be looking after getting the shirt at the moment, but I will definitely let you know, because thank you for doing those. They are great. I really love them. And there's other comments here, but I think that's pretty much it. We're out of time, so it's very good to see you guys again. A bit of a quiet show this week, but I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to you guys, as I always do. I'm going to be back next week at the same time. I'm going to be back on 2.5 Oyajis this week, where we'll have some sort of a topic. And hope you're all good. Remember, September 6th, we are locked and loaded for the summer YouTube party, so get yourself to Tokyo. From wherever you are in the world or Japan, we always get people who fly in. We always get people who travel from all over Japan. We've booked out the Tokyo Sports Cafe. Times, prices, whatnot, still be decided, although it partly will depend on how many people express interest in going, which I will make sure I put up on Facebook, and it will be awesome. So come and join us for that. Come and meet me and hang out with me and Victor and everybody for a real 2.5 Oyajis on a nightclub level, as we do. But it's not just us. It'll be a full YouTube gathering, the biggest, the 6-month reverse of the Hanami, so that'll be pretty awesome. Shirt information I'm going to put out again. I'm going to put the links for the shirts, for the current shirts, which are up under the video, but I'm also going to talk about getting one of Jason Horton's designs on, because they are awesome. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you all later. So have a good one, and enjoy the World Cup final and all that other goodness. And I'll talk to you again soon. Peace. Boom.